Folks, when the barbarian hordes get together, you know we're going to have a good brawl. Welcome back to Total War Rome 2. This one is going to be an Iceni versus Suebi brawl. These are both very interesting factions in that they have some rather distinct flavor that, in my mind, kind of separate them from, say, like the Arverni, the Boii, and the... I'm going to forget their name, one of the other factions that's similar, in the sense that those factions are kind of straightforward, like heavy sword, mid-tier sword, heavy horse. The Iceni and the Suebi both have their own flavor, and for the Iceni, that flavor comes in the form of a very heavy mid-tier sword that is more defensive than offensive. That's the Chosen Sword Band. They also have some chariot flavor that they can bring in, and they have slightly better slingers in the Briton slingers. So it does give the Iceni a little bit of a different feel to their armies. They've also got some units that we may or may not see here, like painted ones that can cause fear. So they definitely have some different options. Now let's take a look at their front line. We're going to see several units of sword band. These are basically a very light sword infantry that have some javelins, provide some nice frontline fodder. There's going to be levy freemen supporting the flanks, one on each flank. And then it looks like we're going to have 2 heroic nobles holding up the center, flanked by a chosen sword band, and another one in the middle. And then as far as cavalry goes, we're going to have, looks like 3 veteran riders and a Briton scout rider. And then we've got a chariot here. These guys do carry javelins. They'll want to be extremely careful of the Germanic scout riders. In fact, they don't really have a good answer to the Germanic scout riders. And these chariots are in extreme danger, as is the heroic rider general. I like the aggressive use of the slingers here to ward off those units, and you're definitely going to want to keep those scout riders handy and keep those slingers at the ready. Now, one of the problems you're going to face is that we've got Germanic slingers over here, as we all know from fairly recent videos. These guys have like an 80% missile block chance, so the Britons are in some serious doo-doo in terms of the range. They've got to deal with the 2 scout riders and then 4 extremely hard-to-kill slingers from range. There's 3 club levy backing them up, and then it looks like a line of bloodsworn, 4 behind them. We've got a noble rider general and another noble rider, and then behind that is 4 sword masters. So no spear units for the Suebi. They are all in for clubs and swords. The sword masters are going to be very potent infantry, capable probably of going toe-to-toe with the heroic nobles, certainly with the chosen sword band. But then when you mix that in, that you could get a nice charge in off of all the bloodsworn. Now let's see if we have a fast charge general. We got pride and fast charge. Yep. So fast charge, remember, if it's popped, the Suebi can use it to increase their speed temporarily and get massive boost to charge bonus. It comes in waves, and each wave kind of has slightly different stat modifiers. Fast charge is a very dangerous ability, and there it goes. So fast charge is popped. It starts off by just increasing speed, I believe, and then the bonus to charge comes later. So honestly, the Britons kind of get in here and disrupting that charge. A real heavy charge here. There comes the second phase of Pride. So the charge bonus is now there, but you'll notice that many of the Suebi units not yet gotten a lot of charge. Pride popped there too, which is going to pop up AP damage. So the Suebi are going to be getting big charge bonuses and lots of damage. They need to get their units charged in now. And take advantage of that bonus, but they did get caught rather suddenly. I think the Britons, or Iceni in this case, recognized what I was saying. They had recognized it, not because I was saying it, obviously. They had recognized what I was speaking of, which was that the Suebi had a skirmish advantage, and they didn't want to sit back and let that play out for too long. I imagine the Suebi are getting a lot of kills at the moment. They will tire out probably here soon. And then the Britons have a chance to grind them down. Suebi units tend to have a little less armor and be a little less heavy, and they make up for it with speed and charge. The specialty abilities that we get from the Suebi, like Pride and Fast Charge, in my opinion, there should be like 2 or 3 of these like cool general abilities for each faction, and as unique as it is for the Suebi. I'm not sure why we had very few factionally unique abilities or generals in this game. It really could have given this game a whole lot more flavor, and then made it more akin to Warhammer, not in most senses, but in the sense that like Warhammer does have a ton of flavor when it comes to multiplayer. Each faction is very different. The type of game you play makes it very different. Ooh, these chariots are getting wrecked on here by those slingers. And then of course you have all the different leaders and the spells, and all that adds a lot of layers into the picking of units and the strategy that a faction is capable of. And with the Suebi, their special abilities really match in well with the type of units they have, right? They have light and fast units. And so that special ability is a really cool addition. There's some flaming javelins coming off the chariots there, too. That is really causing a mass panic amongst the Germanic troops back here. I feel like the Iceni are in the driver's seat here now that it's into a grind. The Heroic Rider General is still quite alive. The Swordmaster over here is making short work of that. And then let's see what's going on. These Slingers back here are fighting off Scout Riders. There's a Levy Freeman. The Noble Rider General for the Suebi is taking quite a few casualties, and there's a Heroic Rider in the neighborhood. The Germanic Slingers are all pooled up too. So that is bad for the Suebi because those Slingers were a huge advantage for them, and they have not been able to protect them here. A lot of their cavalry took a lot of damage in that early charge as the Iceni just came crashing in, and the Suebi appeared to try and counter that across the front, and it didn't end up going too well, I don't think, here, based on what I'm seeing. I think the Suebi are going to start crumbling. You've got really heavy, well-armored defensive units here. And again, late into a battle, as units start to tire and wear down and take hit point damage, that will be an advantage for the Iceni because it will make their units tankier the later in. Now look at this. This Noble Rider here does catch the Heroic Rider, and then some slings came in. That's not a great turn of events here for the Iceni. We're going to see a countercharge here by another Noble Rider, though. It might be able to save the General, but I mean, this is a risky situation for the Iceni General. And at that same time, a little bit of a wrap-up going right here for the Suebi. However, there are some more veteran riders and Levy Freeman headed in. And we've got a pretty healthy Heroic Noble back here, too. A couple of Swordmasters in pretty rough shape. And then there's one over here, okay-ish shape. So it's not over yet for the Suebi. We'll kind of see how this one ends. The power bar calls us pretty close. Let's take a look and see how it winds up. These Germanic Slingers finally got free, and they're going to make their presence felt here. There's not a lot of them left. Let's see, this Swordmaster obviously does not want to get charged by that Heroic Noble, so they're going to pull back and countercharge using Headhunt. Nice play there. That's going to get them some benefit up against that very tough Heroic Noble unit, so that was a very nice counterplay by the Suebi. Cavalry, though, going to come in and finish off those Germanic Slingers, so there's not going to be any more Slingers, and then that shifts the power bar back the other direction against the Suebi. It is a close fight. These Chosen Sword Band are hanging on. Remember how I said that just hanging on could make a big difference, and it is making a difference right there. And it's allowing the Iceni chances to come around and try and get rear charges and bring reinforcements. And so the ability of the Iceni to hang on ultimately may have been a big factor here in them winning the day. A rally here late by the Iceni General, that will help solidify morale into these last moments of the battle, in which I expect we're going to see the Suebi start to fall apart. This Swordmaster unit is going to get rear charged. There are some Briton Slingers left, and they are going to make their presence felt. So at this point, I just don't see the Suebi making the comeback, and they are not. We're going to see the army losses take hold, and that is the end of the fight. And a good fight it was. It was very interesting here because the Suebi definitely had a massive skirmishing advantage. However, they weren't really able to put it to use because of the fast attack by the Iceni, which is kind of ironic, right? Because the Suebi are the fast attack faction, right? But the Iceni kind of flipped the script. So this is an interesting example. Holy cow. I didn't get to see those chariots in action, but they got 354 kills. The lighter weight of those Suebi units might make them pretty vulnerable to that impact damage from the chariots. That is an insane performance by the chariots. I wish I would have caught more of that. Dang. Wow. So this was sent to us by El Cid, by the way. What a name for his opponent. Testicular chewing. All right, sure, whatever. I don't know. But in any case, yeah, so the Iceni kind of flipped the script. I think El Cid recognized the skirmish disadvantage and then decided, you know what, we're going. And the Suebi, had they popped the fast charge early enough, they could have used that to create massive damage against the Iceni, but it was just a little late. And that can make all the difference for the Suebi. They really need that fast charge to land. So it was just a little bit late, and it did not give them quite enough momentum to get over the top. So fun battle between both players. Hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.